think it's going. Yeah? Hi? The stream's going now. This is Sarah, and it is Thursday, almost 1 p.m. here in sunny, hot, kind of humid Las Vegas. And Mark will be home soon, because he only works half a day today, but for the time being, I'm by myself, and I'm about to do something very important, I guess. My kid is undergoing a growth spurt today, a very big one. I'm replacing every old part that he still has left on his body from when I originally assembled him with new updated pieces, because yeah, some of the things from, I don't know, that I originally designed, they have design flaws, of course, so I can improve them. So I'm gonna do that after I eat this. It's like the time of day where I need a popsicle. I missed noon by about 40 minutes. So I'm gonna do this first. I need the sugar. Plus I don't see anybody in here yet, so I've got a minute. This is gonna be a little bit weird of a stream because I'm going to simultaneously be filming part of this for my own update, so I have a second camera set up, my GoPro, just for capturing the moment. It's kind of like my kid shedding his baby teeth, so I'm gonna film the transplant and then edit that into something a little bit more comprehensive that explains exactly what is being improved and how it's being improved. Nothing super fancy, but it'll definitely make my life a lot easier when I need to do upgrades on the fly in the future to his brain boards, or if I need to hook and unhook his motors. And if I do need to tear him down to put him in my luggage, I don't have to worry about his bearings flopping around anymore, because that was a problem in the past. I would take his legs out of his pelvis, and there is no capture piece to kind of prevent anything from falling out, so I would have to go hunt all of his parts down in my suitcase after I pulled him out and put him back together, which was kind of crappy, so I don't have to do that anymore either. But I'm gonna post, see if I can get some people from my Discord in here. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on. What's going on? Okay, so oh, it says there's 5 people in here. So I know there's 5 people in here watching or listening at the very least. I'll give it another minute or two before I get started. Here's the camera setup I have right now. It's not looking anything important. It can look at my popsicle wrapper for the moment, and then my notepad, and then I have my GoPro set up over there because I was taking some shots of the pieces that I'm going to be doing stuff to here in a minute. Ooh. Hi, my Hugh. I think that's what that says. How are you? How is everybody, anyhow? Well, I'm just sort of dinking around eating my popsicle. How was everybody's weekend? I survived DEF CON. I lived to tell the tale. I was supposed to train a classifier today, and I didn't do that yet. Not train a classifier. I had to draw boxes around images that we took yesterday while Mark was away, and I totally didn't do that yet. Oh well. This shouldn't be a terribly long stream. I'm not thinking this is going to take more than an hour or so, so I'm just going to show the process. And then I have a video to publish later about the progress of the Noodle vision, because I think we're about there, which is good, because that needs to all be ready by the time we pack up and leave town coming up here. May. Cool, I will call you May. It seems like it was just May. So anyhow, let's see. The things in question, I guess I can pull these up while I'm eating this, are primarily these two entities right here. This is Noodle's pelvis and his skull, the new ones. So these were just recently printed, I think last week. I was trying to spit these out before I left for DEF CON to meet up with my friends and do all the social. Ooh. Hi, Badger Pig. Welcome to the surgery edition of Robohemian. So this is the tray that Noodle's planetary eye gantry sits inside of, and this open space in back right here is where the smaller gear that turns that eye gantry kind of rests. Everything up here is kind of open for wires to thread through. These two collections of slots, let's see if I can, there you go. Those are the new mounting points for the different lobes. And the way that works is his brain has a adapter mount on it, and that slides right into these little fork pieces as so. So if I do need to get to his brain for any reason, I can just slide it out and pop it back in. It is going to have a bunch of wires kind of holding it in place, so I don't think it needs to be secured down very much more than that from my experience, but we'll see. It's definitely a lot easier to access now. As before, one of the things that sucked about the old design is to get his brain out of his head, I had to unscrew literally everything. I had to unscrew the pins that connected his brain to his skull and his skull to his pelvis, so that entire chain had to kind of become unsandwiched just for me to get the board out, and I had to do that quite often, so it was a very annoying thing that I don't know, I kind of allowed to go on for far too long. Oh man. You guys might get to see me get drippy popsicle all over myself. Let me eat this. Summer's almost over here. Kind of. We've got one more month of it left. Or maybe two, I don't know. It doesn't really get cold here, but it won't be hot enough to do the kiddie pool in about another month, so I'm like coming down to the very last days where I can actually sit in the pool and enjoy a beer at the end of my day. Oh, hi Steve Berg. How are you doing today? So, I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Let me finish like noshing this. I made a capture for the bearings. These holes right here, these like indentations, are where the bearings sit. I didn't have a cap over the top and bottom of the pelvis in the past, so they could just pop out. I think originally they were tensioned in there pretty tight, but over the years they kind of came loose, getting bumped around in my luggage through transport. So now, like the last couple trips I made, all 8 of them fell out because there was no legs to hold them in place. And I had to literally dig through all of my clothes to try and find all of them, which was annoying, as I mentioned like a couple minutes ago. It was an easy fix too. I could have done this a long time ago, but just hadn't. I made a cap that just fits over here, and it holds the bearings in place as well as these little There's actually threaded standoffs embedded inside of the pelvis, and these are the things that the pins screw down into, the pins that hold all the other pieces together. I didn't redesign the whole pin portion of his pelvis. Oh god. But it's probably more acceptable now because the part that is pinned together can stay together, and the parts that will need to come off and on like more regularly aren't attached by the pins. So the pin system is kind of isolated, and once it's together, it probably will never have to be taken apart again. So it's not going to make or break the system anymore. This little piece right here probably doesn't mean anything yet, but this is the thing that his new eye mounts to. And I have his roll cage for his head. He used to have this nice little dome that connected, or protected his brain, but it also kind of visually completed the aesthetic of Noodle. It made that like dome shape that I always draw him having. It cracked though recently in transit on the way to Tokyo, and I had to reprint it. I increased the infill, so hopefully it's a little bit stronger, but those are parts that are going to need to become metal here pretty fast. They're printing right now just for, I don't know, for grins. Hopefully they make it to their next destination, but I'll probably pull them off before I travel because I know that there's a high likelihood that they're going to crack again. Noodle's roll cage. Ooh! Hi, Polus Squalus. Good to see you again. It's a screm stream. I can screm. Ah! Yes, Steve Berg, they're 3D printed. I'm not milling any of this out of aluminum yet. That's a whole nother adventure. I'll probably end up getting to it eventually, but I'm not sure this is the design I want. I don't know. It is a popsicle break. This is kind of like my lunch right now. And we're down to just creamsicles. Like, we ran out of Rocket Pops last week, so I need to go to the store and get more of those. Yeah. I kinda love that brain freeze. Okay. My lunch has been consumed. My sugar lunch. So, alright. I don't know how long this is going to take. It might not take that long, or I might run into issues and I'll be doing this until the happy hour begins, but we'll see. I'm going to stand up now, though. Let's see. I think I can aim this up. Yeah, that's about good. So this is where I'm going to be now. I'm going to be standing in front of my camera that I have set up unless I need to pull things over to my left to film them up close with my GoPro. I have that plugged in too. Because I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to be getting supplemental footage for an actual video update that I'll edit later. Okay, so that's set up. The first thing I'm going to do is show you guys Noodle's original head. So this right here, with the eyes and everything, this is Noodle's original head assembly, and all of its kind of original fantastic glory. A couple things have been replaced since, I don't know, since the beginning when he was born. One of those things is this planetary gear right here. I think this is the third iteration. I redesigned it entirely once I started using Fusion 360 because I could get smaller teeth for the gear. And that gave me a little bit more room, like diameter on the inside of his head to mount things. Let's see, what is attached? Ah, okay. I am gonna have to pull this out. But it's caught on something. Okay, so this makes sense. So some of these wires broke already. I don't know if you can see that, but this is his optic nerve, and it looks like both of the black wires cracked off entirely. I don't know when this happened. I think probably while he was on exhibit in Tokyo, because mysteriously while I was over there, one of his eyes turned green, or blue rather. So he had a blue eye and a green eye. And I had no idea why, but it might have something to do with the fact that some of his rods and cones got detached. Here, let me turn this a little bit more. There. So I guess that's a thing. I'm actually replacing his eye stalks too. I haven't printed them yet, so it's something I'm gonna need to sit down and do after the printer's done printing. But the new camera that I just bought for mounting in between his eyes is different. This is the original Raspberry Pi module that you can buy for the Raspberry Pi. There you go, you can see that there. It served its purpose, but I have a nice, like, big kid HD webcam that I'm going to be mounting in between his eyes now for this next exhibition that I'm doing. Actually, I don't know if it's hooked up or not. I think it is. I can't grab that right now. We just got the webcam and the TensorFlow classifier thing controlling a pin on the Arduino last night, or Mark did. I have no idea how he pulled that off, but it works. So last night, whether or not he saw Fisty would trigger his beeping. So if you held up his stuffed animal Fisty in front of the camera and it recognized Fisty, it would trigger the pin that the beeper was connected to and beep like constantly. So we got that part working. So there's a lot to do from there, but that was the very, very most recent and last development that took place last night. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off because I am reusing this part. I didn't reprint it because there's nothing wrong with it. It's not broken and it looks pretty nice. It's got like a pretty red dual extrusion band on it that they did last year because I was feeling fancy. But yeah, this is just gaffed onto the back of his eyes because that is as good as it got for his last whatever. Actually, I don't know if I should film part of this. Maybe. Alright, I'm gonna get some footage over here real quick. I'm gonna show my other camera what I'm talking about. Okay. Yuck. Okay, so I just I just ripped the camera off the back of his eyes, so that's free now. So this was just basically for the past year or so held on with this strip of gaff tape right here, which is gross. It's all nasty and discolored on the inside now. And that was just this camera module. the thing that, again, you can buy for the pie. I don't know. It's like 40 bucks or something. Here, let's show this camera. Okay, so I'm going to discard that. So the new camera mount is this piece right here. This mounts right here on the back of his eyes. Oh, wrong way. Like this. And it holds the board in place. There's some mounting holes on it on the bottom. I don't know if you can see those. Oops. So right here and right here. Right here. There we go. That's better. These two. And that should kind of hold it in place up right between his eyes right here. I might have to modify these. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to have to, but if it doesn't clear by a small amount, I'm going to have to shave off a path straight back through in between his eyes. But it should be close, so it won't be too drastic of a thing. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Can I share that to this camera? See, I'm like sharing time with you guys. Should be good enough. Gantry, pizza, tape and camera, and mount. That should be good. Whatever. Okay. So the next thing I need to do, I'm gonna dip my head down. Oh, hi, Maker Block. How are you doing? Oh, I can't see. My vision is terrible. Golgathan? Hi, Golgathan. You've never seen Noodle's anatomy? This is the most intimately I think anyone will see him in quite a while. Internal learning. Oh gosh. Nice. Yes, he'll have more complex like learning algorithms when we get over this hurdle of input, the recognizing things. But yeah, the tape did work out for a decent enough amount of time. It's just it needs to be replaced with something more robust. But yeah, how are you doing, Maker Block, and everybody else who just recently joined? And yeah, Fisty is the best name. And again, he's a hand puppet, so it's not entirely wrong or dirty or anything like that. But yeah, the red streak. The new camera is not a whole lot bigger. It does have a board connected to the back of it, so there's the lens, and then there's like a square circuit board that is behind it, and that has mounting holes, so I can luckily mount it to this piece right here. I'll probably have to add the other two mounting holes on the top somehow, so this is gonna probably get blown out with additional pieces, but this I could actually print in its orientation, because it has a flat edge for the print bed. We'll see. I might not need to. I don't know yet. So the next step, I think I'm going to take this and stick it in front of me, as awkward as that is. Let's see how weird this is going to be. Shouldn't be too bad. And I'm going to do a time lapse. There. I'll probably pull this up. It's like video inception. So that's where that needs to be. Alright, the next thing I need to do is pull off his old head tray. So this original piece right here was, I couldn't print the entire circle on the print bed of the MakerBot, so I had to print it in 3 separate like pie slices. There's 2 parts right here, and a third back here, kind of like sandwiched around this gear in the middle, which turns the eye gantry. I was able to print the whole thing in like 1 chunk. So this is his new skull, that's his old skull. I should probably get footage of that. Video. This is hard. Old noodle head, new noodle head, I guess. There. So this is, again, what I just explained. There's like 3 separate pieces, 3 separate pie slices. But the new one is just one whole chunk. Okay. Blah. Now I can go into like deep time-lapse mode. Okay, so I'm going to detach his skull from his pelvis, and this is the part that's being held together by those pins that I was talking about. There's, I think, yeah, just 6 of them right here. Like 2, 2, and 2. I'm pretty sure that's all there is. So there's some long pieces of hardware that are going down through the skull. There's some standoffs and then into the pelvis. And I'm gonna grab a thingy, a screwer, my screwdriver, and I'm gonna pull that apart and separate these 2 pieces. And that's gonna probably be the end of this whole assembly as I know it, because the next step after that is to take the pelvis and separate the motors from it, because I'm still reusing those. There's nothing wrong with them. So I'm gonna go grab that real quick. I don't know why I didn't bring it over here. I'm forgetful. Yay. How are you guys doing? Robot brain surgery. Ooh, hi Vi! You're at the airport? Oh, that's right, you're on your way back. I'm glad you could make the stream while you're in transit on the super highway in the air back home. I met Vi at DEF CON this weekend because a bunch of us Hacker Pants kids were hanging out in Las Vegas doing the hardware dues in the Vegas. So this is not on time lapse, so I'm going to switch it to time lapse. And I'm going to try very hard not to like bump the camera. So I'm going to try and do this like over at the side right here. Yeah. Is that enough light for you guys? I think that's enough light. So So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. So these pins screwed down into these threaded standoffs that I sandwiched into the pelvis. So this is like how long they are about. And they're basically like, if you look at a club sandwich, you know, like the toothpick that holds all the layers of the sandwich together, that's basically what they do. The problem is I mentioned this earlier, some of the critical parts that I need to remove very often were also held in place by these pins. So I had to pretty much take the entire assembly for his head and pelvis apart to some extent, and hope that all this stuff didn't come loose and fall out inside of his head while doing so. And that got really, really tiring. Here's some of the original standoffs. So these things right here, these standoffs, are some of the parts that I have printing in the back room right now. I'm printing them in silver, which is the new color, just because I could totally reuse these, but I don't know, I kind of don't want to. I said I was replacing all of Noodle's original parts. I kind of want to stay true to that. So he's getting an official, like, I don't know, puberty-esque growth spurt right now. So this is one of the pieces of the head tray. So I'll kind of keep this in sight for the moment. Maybe right here. And then there's these two little like fingers right here. This is the part that originally held the brain in place. So these coupled with the holes on the brain board, it's actually right here. So that actually screwed in right there. And I had to unscrew it from these little pegs if I wanted to access it, and that was a pain in the butt. So I don't have to do that anymore, which is good. Plus they could like spin around in place, which was kind of dumb. I don't know why I did it that way, but you live and learn. It's these little pieces. Very tired now. I know, I need to get an NES, Vi. Oh, are you still in sushi coma? I had a good meal yesterday, but it wasn't sushi. It was slightly disappointing. I'm ready to get back in the kiddie pool tonight, though. I haven't all week. I haven't since last Friday, so I'm thinking I'm gonna go dip in the water after my kid's done with his surgery, just to take a load off from this stressful endeavor. Because I know it shouldn't worry me, but this always kind of makes me freak out a little bit. I'm disassembling my child, so, I mean, I guess it's warranted. So, oh gosh, I lost a washer. Right. One more pin. So that's another piece of the pie that goes there. My poor kid. There we go. Okay, final pin is free. All right. So that's all the pieces of the noodle pie right there. So his pie has been detached from his pelvis. So the skull and pelvis have been pulled apart. I know, right? It's already been almost a week, or it has been a week since the last kiddie pool night. It feels like it's been 2 seconds. I hate that, the dilation of time. So here are all the original standoffs. I'm gonna put them right here with the old pelvis, and I'm gonna check and see if the new one is finished, or the new standoffs are finished. Real quick, just so I can bring them in here. So I'll be right back. Like, I'm gonna leave you here alone with Noodle's like pelvis proper, I guess. Wait. There's the skull. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so the standoffs weren't done, but the roll cage was. So his skull, I guess the outside of his skull, or the thing that protects his actual brain, which is the skull, these things are done. And these kind of overlap like this, and they create kind of a little roll cage effect for his noggin, and they mount on these tabs right here on the side of the, I guess the gantry plate. So I'm gonna stick these right here because they're ready to be received whenever I need them. So let's see. I think I'm gonna get some footage over here real quick. I apologize that I keep bouncing back and forth, but I don't know. I don't plan on doing this more than once, so I want to make sure that I catch it. I get the important stuff on camera. That's what moms do anyway, right? So I'm not going to do... I'm not going to do regular video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the old skull, which is this guy, next to the new one, and the old pelvis, that's this guy, next to the new pelvis, and show a comparison. So I'm just going to get a couple seconds of footage, long enough to drop in for B-roll, and then I'm going to pop back over and continue. So thank you for being patient. I guess I can... Yeah, let's go through this. Like that. Okay, that should be good. I guess I can use footage from this stream too. I don't know. Alright, moving on. Let me see how you guys are doing. Oh. I know, right? He's totally beheaded. Like a bad mom. Let's see. So the next step is to, oh god, what was that? Oh, that's right. There's these other standoffs, which are important. So this is its own separate kind of thing right here. That's the eye gantry motor. I guess this can move. This can move. This is all of Noodle's jewelry that I have to kind of shuck off of him. Poor baby. Don't worry, I'll put it back on. So this is some of the oldest stuff that he acquired back in the day, is like adornments. Oh man. Almost free. Okay. Now I can probably show this. But yeah, this is like his original bell collar. This is kind of a fun story. Like many years ago, I was sleeping in the morning, and it was like the point in the morning where I was slowly waking up but was still kind of dreaming. And the air conditioning was on because it was summer, and the vent hood over the blower was kind of loose. So it was creating this squeaking sound. And my subconscious dreaming brain heard this squeaking from the air vent, and it sounded kind of like a bell. And I was just building Noodle like for the first time, so he was like being born that month. And my mind started dreaming that Noodle was walking around the house with like a little cat bell from like a cat collar on. So he's making this little like ting 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 song while he was like walking around the house. And I woke up and I realized what the sound actually was, but then I knew immediately that Noodle also needed to have a bell on something. So that year when I was at Maker Faire, I ended up buying this yellow cat collar for Noodle while I was in town. So this is where all of his pins go, and it also has a nice proper bell on it, which is important. Oh, Mark's home. Yay, you guys get to visit with Mark. That's the beep of the Mark car. Have I ever tried taping markers to Noodle's feet and making Noodle doodles? I've made a miniature Noodle that does that. I have a tiny Noodle that has pager vibrator motors in the feet, and the tips of the feet are marker tips, and it shakes and it draws stuff, but it's a small Noodle. It's maybe about this big. Hi, Black Wolf. Hi, Mark. I'm streaming. Say hi to everybody.
I'm streaming.
Yeah. Uh-oh. I'm trying to get 2 types of footage at once. Yeah? Mark's home.
Is Vi on?
Yes, Vi's here.
Hi, Vi.
He's
Glad
in.
you made it home in one piece.
He said he was in Houston, or was it?
Oh, you're in Houston now.
He's in. Wait, Denver. Sorry, not
Denver.
Houston. Same thing.
Stuck in the Denver airport?
He's in Denver.
Yeah.
So he's on his way back to the house, the home house. How are you? You ready for
Friday.
Ready for a relaxation?
Start drinking.
Oh God.
Put my underwear on.
Yep.
Take my pants off.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
So the next step is to take everything out of this and put it in the new pelvis. So I'm going to scoot this back over like I did before. And I can lean this over. Probably a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. This is like ridiculous, but the best things in life are ridiculous, right? So I'm going to put this on video or time lapse. There, now everybody can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to have to stand over here at the end of the table like a weirdo, but that's okay. And I'm going to turn off me so you can just see what I'm doing, but you can hear my voice, so it's kind of like I'm still here. Yeah? So I'm going to take all of the motors out of this bad boy and the bearings, and I'm going to transplant them into this, and I'm going to probably end up using the same hardware too. I think I might need to grab a squeezy squeezer because it looks like I used nylock nuts for some of these, so I'm going to need the proper removal tool to get the motors off. Let me grab that. If I know where it is. Here it is. Just kidding. I've got it. So, I don't think all of these need it. Oh God. There we go. Well, the bearings are already falling out. Oh, there is a capture plate on the bottom. Interesting. So I lied about that. I was gonna say I kind of like vaguely remember making one at some point. I don't know why the top didn't get one. I don't know if that's because I felt it wasn't necessary or if there's some other reason why I didn't end up using it. I literally cannot remember. This project has been going on for so long that the memories are a blur. Noodle. There. Do you like my Buffalo Wild Wings stickers on the motors there? I'm not sure when those became a thing, but alas, there they are. Oh, that's right. Forgot about this. Getting them out is a thing. I hope that's not an issue this time around. The way that I designed it. Did I shoot myself in the foot already with the thickness of these? It's a very distinct possibility that I might have. Barely. But they'll go. If I force them. It's the wrong way anyhow. Make sure you do it the right way, Sarah. Right, Mark? The wrong way is wrong forever. Bad raptor. They'll go, but I'm gonna need to like butter them. Right, Mark?
Excuse me?
I did a dumb thing. I'm good at this dumb thing doing. So that's actually not the right way. This is the right way. Okay. I gotta make sure that these will fit, because if they don't, I'll be very sad. So I'm gonna have to, like, do something that wasn't intended to this pelvis. And that's not a good way to start with a brand new pelvis, having it be modified on the fly. Right, Mark?
Yeah, don't wreck your new pelvis.
You don't want to wreck your new pelvis right out of the street. It's not good. Noodle. He says he trusts mommy. And he says I don't get more than 1 day on this. He says I can't take my sweet time getting him ready. Well, I'll be pizza. Any ideas? I'll leave that there. Here, let's free the rest of all this stuff first. Okay, so four bearings. Alright. There's the top four, put the bottom four in a minute. So there are bottom pins here for the capture plate. Okay, so those are small. Put those over here. This one flew longer, but it's probably not. How was your day, Mark? Busy. Are you gonna sit in the kitty with me tonight? Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
Cool. I might need help getting these motors in. Yeah?
You need help?
Yeah. I'll show you. Of course. I didn't do something right. Maybe. Nothing a little good old-fashioned force can't fix.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello, James. The old holes? Maybe notch the bottom and the center to be... I could... I don't know. I'm going to try not to modify it too much, because this is going to be his exhibition form. Not that he has to be all shiny for the exhibition, but it'd be nice if he looked better than he normally does. I'm actually kind of proud of how janky he was in Tokyo when he was on the pedestal, because I think his Raspberry Pi, which he was actively using then, was literally zip tied with one zip tie around his normal brain, and it looked very, very, very special. Oh, it is? Yay, the new standoffs are done.
Wish my printer would work.
What, is it still broken?
Yeah, I set it down to a 0.2 nozzle, and it now won't stick to the bed, and then it clogged again.
The clogging thing.
Clogging. So we have a bag labeled 0.4mm nozzles, but I think they're 0.2s. I'm going to switch it out Monday and try it again. If that doesn't work, we're going to go buy a variety of nozzles and try to get it. In the butt.
Just ate a big popsicle.
Yeah.
It was so good. I recommend it. You should have a creamsicle, Mark. You should. I recommend. It'll get your mind off of everything.
All the things?
Yes. Oh, I never replaced this gear, I just noticed. Look at that. That's totally not like the other gears. I wonder why. Why did I do that? Oh my goodness. I might need to be printing more parts after this. Okay, so the capture plate is free. The old capture plate, which is I have to knock the print quality in that. You can kind of see it looks like scorched entirely. I don't know why, but it looks like it came out of a butt fire. It's a very technical term. Butt fire. Okay, so these should just fall out now. The rest of Noodle's hip socket bearings. Walk these out of there. Hip daddy. Noodle. He says he doesn't like it. Alright, one more bearing. Oh, there we go. All the bearings are free. All 8 in the button. Okay, time to get the rest of these motors out. I can't believe I didn't switch one of the gears. Like, that gear is not correct. Do you remember when I switched out the hip gears? Was it right? It's like right after I learned fusion, right?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Nobody knows. How's your popsicle?
Yeah.
Sometimes all you need in life is a creamsicle. I'm gonna look down and see how the chat's doing. Yay. James, these are new prints. They're quite a bit different in subtle ways. How did I get these? Okay, so they just barely clear. Damn, I'm gonna have an issue with that. That's gonna suck. I really don't want to have to reprint the pelvis, since that's such a large piece. Yeah. Bad raptor. Mark, I'm the best kind of engineer. It's okay, I'll make it work. I always do. See, the thing I'm in turmoil about now is you see how these barely clear to get out because of the small hole they're trying to twist into. I made this this part thicker on the new pelvis, and that's going to probably end up causing the issues now. Which is bad. Okay, so the old pelvis has been evacuated at this point. Yeah? So I can probably stick this somewhere up here and out of the way. And this is the new one in question. Okay, so before I put the motors in, I think the thing I'm going to do is line these up right here. And I'm going to show this to the camera. And let's see. Okay, so I'm going to probably stick the bearings in here real quick and then put the capture plate on, because that's a part that isn't going to actually fight me. Try removing the back cover from the servo to get it in. That's a good idea, Eric. Thank you. I might remove the back of the servo just to allow for a little bit more clearance. It's a good idea. Okay, so the next step is to put the capture plate on, but not until I get these bearings in. So these should just fit. Yeah. Yay, I like it when things don't fit. There we go. And I'm going to stick these back inside. I'm thinking this is actually the top. Yep. Okay. All right. Blech. All the fun. Be the end of the world. It is really fun trying to do this with two cameras next to my head. You can't really see it because there's no camera to film it, but there's my laptop camera to my right and then my GoPro to my left, and I'm kind of peering down through them. It's kind of like I'm looking over the shoulders of two other people, which is kind of funny. So the next capture plate, I'm pretty sure can't go on until I'm ready to add the skull. I think that's what the deal was, which is okay. And then I'll probably, Mark, do you have a screwdriver that will work on the screws on the back of the servo?
No.
No?
What is it? Just tiny screws?
It's one of these. Noodle says he's not sure about any of this.
Noodle's really sure about fisty now, though.
He is definitely very sure about fisty. He says he's never been so sure about a fisty in his life.
He's been sure.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna probably do what Eric suggested with the removing the back of the servos to get them to fit in. So, let's just see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. So let's try it. Ow. It got gloomy outside, didn't it? I don't know if that's going to actually help or just create problems. The lighting that I just added. I can't really even tell. It's a little bit of help. It's getting. Is it gonna rain again today? Do you know?
Do I know?
Yeah.
You need to say Mark because I think you're talking to me.
Oh.
And I know you.
Do you think it's gonna rain again today? Vegas native sitting next to me in the room that I'm at.
Our $0 sponsor, weather.com.
Yeah.
All we get from them is free weather.
They give us the weather. They actually push the weather inside of Las Vegas.
You reciprocate for the zero money they give me. I block all their strips on their list.
Yeah.
I don't see the ads. There's like dots of stormy crap around. Let's see what the little animated red is. What direction is this stuff going?
There's like a little gasket here. Alright.
There's stuff that's going kind of toward us,
You
but
saved
it may just
me.
miss us.
Eric, that was the best idea ever. Thank you. Look, it fits. He suggested that I, oh god, that I take the back off the servo to get it to fit in the crevice that I created, and that was precisely what I needed to
Did you
do.
put the backpack on?
Yes, I'm about to.
What?
Because it wouldn't have cleared. You're in my light.
Oh, is the lip bigger than the?
Yeah, it's bigger.
I would have just
bigger.
grounded that out so you can get those out later without fighting them. Is it the cable that you?
No, there wasn't enough tilt. I had to tilt it to get it in because of the cable. So, thank you. That was.
It wouldn't tilt.
Yes. So thank you, Eric. That was the best suggestion of the day. I am the happiest raptor.
It says don't show the inside of the servos.
The servos never need to come out.
That's privacy.
I've never removed the servos ever, so this is a part that doesn't need. This is okay. Nothing needs to get ground down for ease of access. Mark.
No, he just noodled his modest. He doesn't want to look at his insides of the servos.
Noodle.
So that's private.
Noodle.
He says the gears are bigger in real life if you get next to it. It just looks small.
That's just you. Shh. Hello, MK Me Lab and Brian Lowe. Welcome to the stream. Screwdrivers. Ooh, that sounds good. Anything sounds good right now, actually. I kind of want a beer, but I'm slower if I have a beer. I'm already slow without it, so I'll probably. Oh, damn. Oh.
None for you.
Nope. No rain for the raptor. No rain for the raptor. No. No launching nuts. Gosh. That is as far as it goes. Ha. Ha ha ha. Is it long enough to suck it in? Right? Yes, it is. Love it when it's long enough to suck it in. What? Nothing. Never you mind. 1-1. Okay. I'm gonna keep screwing these in as I go. Nothing's in order. People who are watch the time lapse later in my update that's about this process will be like, what the hell is she doing? There's like no order of operations. It's just kind of like whatever I get to doing when I get around to doing it, and then my attention span just sort of like falls apart. It's okay. No rest for the raffle? Yeah. I do not get any rest for a while again. At least till after SuperCon. I'm gonna be doing this for a minute. A deep minute. Mark. I got the thing, the coordinator for the interview scheduler thing at ours. I got contacted by the interview scheduler.
So you're getting interviewed?
Apparently.
Like multiple times or just one big interview?
I don't know yet, but they contacted me. It's that time of year again. It always makes me feel really important when I get the email. There. I don't know if that's catching or not. Maybe. It doesn't matter. It's in there. Okay. Okay, so I have to repeat this back pulling off of the motor process. because that's the only way that these are going to get in. But luckily that works, otherwise I would have probably been hurting myself to get these to fit in their particular mounting location, because I probably would have done something stupid and stubborn just to get them to fit without grinding or cutting. That probably wouldn't have been good for anybody in the end. Mark, you should tell everybody about how you got Noodle to beep when he sees Fisty.
You can tell them.
I did, but you should give them the details.
What?
About how you made Noodle beep.
Can they hear me?
I don't know. Can you guys hear Mark?
They're like, no.
No one cares. Then don't worry about it. You should get yourself a beer.
You can explain it. I'll correct you.
Raw. Rawberry. Oh. Noodle. What are you doing, Noodle? I'm exposing his motors. Like, Mom. This is a little gasket thing. I should make sure that that stays where it needs to be. I'm sure it's there for a reason. It's like a little rubber band. I think it's in place. Yeah. And the next pelvis Noodle gets will be metal. It'll be made of aluminum. And Shape Daddy will help me make it, maybe? I think when I get to the point in time where he requires a metal pelvis, then I will definitely be needing help to make a metal pelvis. It's still baby pelvis. We'll probably get a complete redesign by then. This is still roughly the same thing as before with some minor improvements. It's not like I did anything earth-shattering. When it comes the point in time where Noodle needs completely new motors, like stronger motors with a different footprint that are either larger or just shaped differently, then this entire thing right here, the footprint of it and the proportions and the gears and where everything's located is going to need to be redesigned. Maybe at that point in time, after like the second or third revision of that new pelvis, then I will probably make the change to metal pelvis, deep metal pelvis. Yeah? Mark.
What?
Deep metal pelvis. Ooh, they said you're loud and clear as shit, Mark.
Oh crap.
You should talk more.
No farting.
People fucking love you. You should say things like how you, I don't know, the creature beeper. You just want to sit in the kitty? Drink the beer and sit in the kitty. Touch, please. Sitting pretty in the kitty. Yeah? Hate it when my net works. Then my hardware falls out. No one's happy. Everyone's crying at night. It's a whole mess. Mark.
Right.
Tell everybody.
About what?
About something.
I'm doing research.
Oh, what are you researching?
I'm looking at, I just found something called Font Awesome. And they're like pre-illustrated icons you can use in your website.
Yes.
And it's open source and free. They look really nice and clean. But I need icons in my game, and I thought maybe this would be a good open source resource to research it.
Mark's making a cyberpunk adventure game, 2D adventure game, side-scrolling cyberpunk story adventure game with stick figures.
Well, that's just temporary.
I think they should stay stick figures.
Anybody ever played Neuromancer back in the 80s?
This thing.
It's basically a clone of that in modern, using modern tools like Java and graphics and
Java and graphics.
Well, it's not an 8-bit adventure. It's a 64-bit adventure.
Noodle says shake it up and make it fizz. Yeah, that's the nut length I needed. Mark, sometimes it just needs to be a little bit longer.
It does. Sometimes you need 5 extra turns.
Yes, damn it.
So you get one or the other.
What? I'm not even sure what we're talking about. I'm trying to countersink my nuts. That's all I'm trying to do.
I get enough of that at work, so...
Countersinking of the nuts? It's getting stormy outside.
It is. I think it's going to breeze past us.
Alright.
It looks like everything's going to the west of us.
It's killing my lighting. Oh well.
God!
God. God? What is this God?
Whoa, mister.
What? What? I like ponies. I'm still proceeding to take the backs out of all of these motors before I put them inside Noodle's new pelvis. His pelvic region. No rest for the wicked. Except at about 5:30, 6 o'clock today, I am definitely going to pop my little white butt in that kiddie pool, regardless of whether it's raining or not. So it better get it out of its system fast. This rain that it wants to have. Alright, here goes the third motor in the slot. Yeah. You got it. That's the best suggestion of the day. Thank you again, Eric. Noodle says that he doesn't like this. He says he didn't authorize this kind of contact. Baby consent. Then pelvic surgery. Guess I could just stick. Shove them all in. This weekend is going to feel so quiet after DEF CON. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, you won't have to drive to Caesar's Palace
8 times.
8 times to pick up loud hoodlums. Hacker hoodlums. from their hacker doing completely sober hackers. I don't think anyone I know really drank during DEF CON this year, which is really weird given past years where that's like why everyone is there, is to drink alcohol. It's like the point in and of itself. Like, I don't think I had anything to drink. I don't think anyone else really had anything to drink either, which is good. It's just weird. Makes me feel something. Oh no, Vice says 3 kids are having a screaming contest. Are you on the plane yet, or are you just in the terminal? Ooh, MakerBlock is asking you, Mark, if you've ever played Netrunner on a BBS back in the 90s.
No, I never did that.
Oh.
I wish I had, but
Mark, are you just not cool?
I don't. I think I was at that age where I had the modem and all that at a very young age, and I just didn't quite figure all the things out that like people that were 3 or 4 years older than me did. So I missed out on a lot of that stuff. I think I briefly played Zork on a mainframe. There was like a MUD program that was on Unix, like a dungeon exploring game. It was all text. And I had friends that were into that, but I never really enjoyed that. But I had multiple friends that played that constantly.
Zork?
Yeah. No, not Zork. It was like, it's like the dungeon crawler games as ASCII text in the terminal.
Oh.
And they would use different ASCII symbols as the different, like treasure or monster. And they would move block to block. It was really blocky, but it was like not even graphics. It was text characters that would draw. Really.
I think the badge had that on it this
year.
year.
Something like that. And that's like, I never really got into that. I was like curious about it, but it didn't pull me in. So.
Trade Wars, Legend of the Red Dragon?
No, I never did that one. There was one that had dragon in the name. It was that was a neuroman or a post-neuromancer, but it was something dragon. I'd have to find that thing again.
I don't remember because I probably wasn't born. Wait, when was this? No, the front came off. That's not what I wanted. Go back. I want the butt to come off, not the front. No.
Oh, Rise of the Dragon. That was a cyberpunk game. I never finished it.
You and you're not finishing.
I never played the System Shock games.
I've already played those. Oh god.
This was a game called Circuit's Edge, which is a little bit like Neuromancer. I never heard of that.
Help.
Yeah.
I broke this.
Broke it? You broken it? You broke it.
Where does this go?
It's gonna fit and mesh with the gear. It goes on the post, I think. And it's gonna mesh with the gear there. So I think it goes. Oh, or maybe it goes in the middle. Yeah, it goes in the middle. Gear down. It's gonna bridge the two gears.
Fuck. It goes right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you know, the right fingers. Oh, you really took that.
I wasn't intending to do this much apartments. You're in my life.
I would have done it. Well, I guess that's why you kind of. What are the else?
What the hell have I done? Oh man. Noodle. Noodle says mommy keeps fucking shit up. Not qualified to do surgery on his pelvis or otherwise. I'm definitely gonna need a beer after this. Okay. I think that's good. Nope, that's not the right way. Alright. I might be buying a new motor. No, I can fix this. I know how gearboxes work.
It goes back together the way it came apart, so there's an order.
Yeah, but they were overlapping slightly different than was very immediately apparent. I think I got it right. Nope, I'm gonna do it. I know how. Raptor do. Noodle is... This is kind of how they put my head back together. They left a trail of destruction in their way. Right? You were there, remember that? Okay. I think that's good. Let's see if it's good. Uh-oh. I can't... I can't get it to turn now.
Just take it out.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't want to turn that on and break it. You could probably have to see it.
What? I thought I put it together, right?
Well, did the top come off because of the...
Well, yeah.
You should tape the top so it won't come apart again.
Well, I have to take it apart again because...
No, the top part, you don't need... You're going to pull it out, right?
No, I have to take the top part off because I have to fix it.
You mean the part with the gear on it?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you just took the back off.
I am just taking the back off, but since it's fucked up now, I have to take
But if you tape the top to the core case, then that won't fall apart on you.
But it's too late for that now.
But you don't want it to fall apart again. You're just getting dirt in there.
It already came off, and it needs to come off again. Okay, it's together. I need tape. Take care. A noodle mainframe? It can be called umami. Alright guys, I'm I got the motor back together, and it's turning again. I am putting some electrical tape over the front so that it doesn't get wanky. Wanky. Doesn't wanky do. Sorry it's so dark in here. I don't know why I'm apologizing for the weather that I have no control over, but I had nice, happy lighting in here like right before I started the stream, and then it became like monsoon season, which it is. Okay. Back in it goes. Almost perfect. Just like mommy. Right now I need to stretch this little gasket around all the stuff. My little gasket. Oh, it just broke. Okay, so I don't get a little gasket. Maybe I can just fake it. I can just wrap it around and sandwich it and pretend like it was still in one piece. Yeah? We'll fake it. How's that sound? Universe is like, see what happens when you open shit? Okay. Pins are going back in. In go the butt pins. Well, at least I've got that nice, like, machining lubricant on my fingers. That's how we like it. Okay, so that was the last motor. Yeah. It's happily in one piece again, with its pins inside of it. Nice and tight, gasket, broken, but that's okay. You won't hold it against it. Pins are in. It should spin. That's the sound of a motor that spins. Okay. I need a nut. Nut. Okay. Let's tack this in with a hardware. And then mostly all the tedious stuff is done at this point. Nut tack. Yeah? Noodle wants to know if you want to play in the pool with him later. Yeah? Mark.
What?
Noodle wants to know if you're gonna play with him in the pool.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're gonna do it?
Servo's wet.
Yeah. He says they need to be cleaned because mommy got her dirty fingers all over them. The insides. Okay, there. This gear needs obviously some love. It'll get switched out next, but I think we're getting close. I think what is left? I need to stick the skull onto this pelvis. This pelvic. So I'm going to stick the rest of these bearings into the top. Yeah. Good Noodle. So capture plate. Which way do I want this to go on? This. Okay. Oh, I put his stickers in the wrong way. Bummer. Oh well. I guess it doesn't matter, but I want it to be that way is the question. It has to be. It's a little bit. Oh, well, Noodle's gonna need some new stickers. Yeah. Will you help him get new food stickers? I don't know. I'm just talking. I'm gonna get, how dare I not control the weather? I know, I'm working on it. I need to add that to my repertoire of abilities. Well, I should prepare for boarding. Take care, Vi. Travel safe. Here, let me turn the thing back on. Take care. Enjoy resting once you get back home. Make sure you get more than or a full night's sleep, not just some hours like collectively sewn together in between like doing. I don't know if you're still here even yet, but providing tacos. Oh, of course. Hopefully you can make it out to Vegas again soon. And not just for like the next DEF CON. You can come anytime you want and sleep on the couch and sit in the kitty, and you can like pester Mark and sit on his lap and ask questions into his face and whisper secrets into his ears. That's what I do. I'm gonna go grab those spacers. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get the spacers. Yeah. Oh, I didn't get them. I just washed my hands. Cool. I am back. I'll go back down. Alright, so these just finished printing. I can do the next step, which is putting this thing on his skull. So I'm going to be attaching the skull to the pelvis in much the same way as the old skull was attached to the old pelvis. So I'm going to need this gear piece. It goes in there somewhere. I know it does. Let's see. What's the best way to do this? Okay, so I need to take the old hardware that's in there out because it's going to be replaced with the new hardware. I will probably do the ones in front first because those are all the same length. There's varying lengths of spacers because the two in the back have to sandwich that extra motor with the gear on it. Noodle says he likes it like that. Okay, so that's these long pins. So I guess I get to pick which way is designated front for now. The one thing that I wanted to do to Noodle's head but haven't done yet is make it so that he doesn't have a designated front, that whichever way he happens to be facing is his front. But I haven't done that yet. Okay. That was a project for this summer that I didn't end up doing. Bad after. Okay. That is gonna work, it seems like. I can get rid of all these washers. Yep. Actually, I don't want that to be designated front because that's where his gimpy motor now is. Sorry, Noodle, you've got a gimp motor in your hip. He's like, Mom, why are you doing that? Let's make this designated front. Yeah? That's how we do it in this house. How's everybody down there doing? Oh, hi, Piotr. I didn't see you joined us. How are you doing? Mostly hay boxes. Yes, Noodle's he's undergoing transformation right now. This is like, he's in a chrysalis state. He's becoming a new type of shape right now that's slightly more metallic-y silver. It's very glorious. Or it's going to be glorious. Uh-oh. There. Fit. There we go. How are you doing today? Some... It's like lettuce. He is totally molting. I'm thinking I might reassemble his other pelvis over there, minus like the critical parts, just so that he has like a full pelvis to skull, pelvic skull combination assembly that's like, I don't know, it's kind of like an empty, literally like an empty skull, like when you find a human skull with all of the muscles and brains and everything kind of rotted away. It's just sort of the shell of what used to be a thing. I think I'm gonna reassemble the old bits so that it has that aesthetic and then stick it on his shelf, kind of like a baby tooth, so that he'll have that always. Because this is only the second version of this assembly that he's gone through in his life. But yeah. No con flu, no. Piotr, I made it. I survived, luckily. I didn't get plague or anything, which is good. Very, very good. Wait, what's this text? I don't understand what is happening. I should loosen it. Let me see. Wow, there's that much play. Interesting. Okay, moving on. But no, I survived DEF CON without getting sick, or so it seems. I guess it's been 3 days, so I would know if I picked up the flu or a cold or anything. I didn't get any hangovers because I didn't really drink. I saw all my friends. I had an overall great experience. How about you? Did you make it home safely? Are you feeling all right? Did you have a good time? You have all your bits and pieces in one piece? I know, congratulations are in order. That's a rare thing. It seems like, I think the first couple years I did SuperCon, I got sick like immediately upon returning from SuperCon, if not at SuperCon proper. Like I think the first year I went, I actually lost my voice and had like 104-degree fever the day of my first talk. It was like the first talk I ever gave too, and I was freaking out. Like I was lucky, I took Advil and I drank a bunch of hot liquids, and by the time my talk came around, I could kind of speak. And you can't really tell at all. Like if you were to watch the video, you wouldn't really be able to tell that I had woken up that morning without a voice. So that worked out in my favor. But I haven't really gotten sick since then in that way from going to a public event. So hopefully that remains to be a thing. Okay, that's better. So this big hole right here that's left, right here, this empty piece, that's where this guy goes back in. And I didn't reprint any of these pieces because they've never broke. And in this case, it's a, if it's not broke, don't fix it sort of thing. Oh, although I probably should have first. Uh-oh. Oh no. Did I shoot myself in the foot? Maybe. I have to take that off. It's not a big deal. Looks like I just need to go there anyhow. Okay, so that's going to get pulled temporarily because I need to replace that with the long pins anyhow. This is going to go in here. Kind of underneath. And this part's going to get kind of tricky because there's 2 layers of stuff that has to go here. Maybe not. Interesting. Seems to fit slightly different. We shall see. So one of these small spacers goes down here, and then there's Huh. I'm confused. Deeply confused. So something's different, and that's not sitting as deep as it ought to. But why? What have I changed that is causing this discrepancy? Why? Mark, why? Let's see. Let's try and do it. I might run into some issues now. So that would otherwise be this pin, a small spacer, and then after the small spacer, it would be this bracketed piece. And then the medium-sized spacer would go after it. That's the order of operations, and then that would drop straight down. So that's how it's supposed to go. The question is, oh, this piece. I didn't. But this is in the way now, so it's not going to clear. Mildly concerning. It's difficult for me to explain what I'm looking at, but something fits differently by like a matter of millimeters, and it's causing me a whole slew of trouble right now. Okay, so I want you to do that. This is the part of the design that I should have switched, but I did not, alas. So this is the thing that might inhibit me from finishing this today, because it seems like something I changed is different just enough, and it's affecting the way that this last motor seats relative to the motor below it, and they used to clear in my previous design, but now they don't. So I'll try and figure out why that is, but at this current moment in time, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it. Maybe. We'll see. Let me get all these things in at once and stare at it and decide what is going on. Mark. I don't know. Pay no attention to the raptor. sigh. Just when I feel good about what I'm doing, the monster comes and slaps me in the face and says, "Hey girl, you felt pretty confident about this new assembly of yours, huh? Like you could just, you know, put it together and it would work? Like you know what you're doing or something?" Okay, so those pins are in place. Okay, so both of those elements are where they're supposed to be with their respective parts. The thing that isn't clearing that I've been talking about, that you probably, I don't know whether you can see this or not, this motor right here is hitting the top of this motor, which I think they used to rest on top of one another in the past, and this needs to be overlapping this one suddenly, and that shouldn't be the case. Like, the two designs should be pretty much one-to-one. There's very few things I've changed. One is the thickness of this rim right here, which I realize affects the exact position where this motor mounts, since it rests on top of this lip. Could have sworn that wouldn't have affected it, but alas, here we are. You can probably see it better from this point of view. But this motor right here that the gear is attached to is torqued in there horribly. That looks so painful. Yeah. Hi, Titanel. Well, I did arrive home most over the con hangover. My throat is not 100%. Yeah, that's the one thing. My throat was scratchy for a couple days, but it's fine now. Mostly great due to the amount of good people that came this year. Yeah, I agree. I'm 100% in agreement with you there, Piotr. There was a better group this year, so I think the enjoyability factor went up just based on the fact that it seemed like a lot of the same, like the SuperCon crowd was present, which I like a lot of those people quite a lot, so it was good to see them. That's not gonna go. That's not how you do it. Raptor. Okay, so this incredibly, you can't see that. That's really difficult to see. Okay, so this motor right here that the gear is attached to is horrendously torqued and out of alignment relative to the rest of the assembly. You can kind of see it. It's like tilted in like this. I'm gonna stare at it and figure out if there's a workaround for it. But until I figure out exactly what I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to be able to go much farther for the moment. In fact, this piece might have actually cracked too, so I might need to reprint it. I don't know. That's unfortunate. Pretty sure I can compensate for this. It might just be a matter of turning this motor. Noodle! I might raise this cap right here. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Okay, that's a quick fix. I still have to print it though. Okay, so I'm gonna probably finish off the stream for now because I'm gonna have to go into CAD mode and come up with a hot fix for this right here because that's super important. His eye gantry. I'm gonna turn on my face. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so Let's stop this. Alright, there I am. Okay, so I have to go into CAD and I have to tweak a couple parts because something shifted. I don't know if it's something I did or if it's just the way everything's fitting together a second time. Who knows? It's probably a combination of both of those things, but I'm gonna call it 4 millimeters that are screwing me up right here. Two parts are overlapping that I absolutely can't have overlap because they're motors and I can't redesign motors. They're just, that's the way they come. So I'm going to, I see something I can do, like the capture plate that's on there right now. I can make this slightly thicker and that will make the, that'll allow the motor to rest on top of the plate and the other motor combined so that they're not trying to overlap. They're just kind of like meeting at an edge. And I'm gonna have to tweak with the size of some of the spacers to make sure that it actually seats properly. That's the way that it works. There's like this convoluted sort of series of spacers right here. This spacer right there is cut in half. And as you see, they're incorrect lengths. This one needs to be a little bit longer. This one needs to be probably a little bit shorter, if not just completely not existing at all, because this plate might actually just end up being flush with the top of this skull piece right now. And once I tweak that, this motor right here should just seat on top of this one right here. And hopefully this isn't too high at that point in time. If it is, then I'll figure out something else I can do. Hopefully it will work. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's how this goes. But yeah, I'm gonna have a beer and I'm probably gonna get in the water before it starts raining because it's still pretty gloomy outside all of a sudden. Ugh. But yeah, thank you for keeping me company while I did this. Sorry I wasn't as chatty this time. It was kind of difficult to keep up with the chat while I was assembling the assembly do, just because of the setup and the way it is today, with the two cameras that I have hovering here. There they are. That's what I was working in between just now. That's ridiculous. I don't suggest it. But I'm gonna go visit with Mark and get that beer, and I'll probably... This is gonna end up being a video, so I'll post the conclusion of how this all works out once it becomes its own edited video update. Today, probably within the next hour, since it's like done, I'm going to release the update, the fully edited formal update for the Noodle Vision endeavor, because we're almost to a point where it's working. So I'm thinking this next classifier training session is going to be it, which is good, because I'm running out of time before our next big gig, right? Which is, again, in Austria at the Ars Electronica Festival at the beginning of September. So, yeah, I'm gonna, I don't know, I'll blurb on my Twitter the video once it's done uploading to YouTube, Twitter. And then here, this is also very important. Invite people. Copy. There. This. That's the link to the Discord. That's where the party is in between streams, because sometimes I don't stream as often when I get busier, so we all just kind of tend to talk about all the cool stuff that everyone's working on in the Discord. And if you don't follow me on Twitter, totally check me out. If you aren't following me yet, it's my handle is here in the chat at SpetQ. No, it doesn't want to type. There, at SpetQ. Follow me. Check that out. And then Mark's gonna ping me to do this. But if you like what I do and you want to support this lifestyle that I have and my ability to buy materials that I need and go to exotic places with the stuff that I build, then consider becoming my patron on Patreon, which is kind of my primary source of income right now at this point in time. Terrifyingly enough. So those people are literally like my gods. And I'll post a link to that too here. It's in the link to, or it should be in the description of the video, but screw it. I'm gonna post it in the chat as well. Because why not? Oh man. Here. Woo. Alright guys. But yeah, I'm gonna troubleshoot this torqued gear. Yeah. Until my next stream, I think what will that be? If I get the exhibit working in some substantial amount of time before we end up packing up and leaving for Lynn's, then I'll probably do a mock-up of the whole exhibit and probably stream it doing its thing. Right, Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That'll be soon, though. It should be soon. It better be soon. Alright. I'm gonna go get that beer. So, I don't know. If you guys drink beer, I don't know what time it is where you are.
If you're 5, don't drink.
If you're 5, don't drink beer. But if you're a seasoned adult like Mark and I, seasoned, then it's 3 o'clock here. It's a little bit, I don't know, premature for happy hour, but grab a beer and I'll toast to you. So take care. Until my next stream, I don't know. Keep making awesome stuff out there, and thank you for keeping me company. And Noodle says thank you too for holding his hand while Mommy stuck her dirty fingers in his gears. Yeah?
Yeah.
Say bye, Mark.
Bye, Mark.
Say come here. Oop. Oh. Yeah? Are you ready for that beer?
Yeah, I'm like, I want beer.
Say bye-bye.
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 Bye. Cheers. Cheers. Ooh. There you go. Wait, how do I do? Oh, there's stop. Okay.
Like a
Where's
red
the
button
there
you
needs
just
to be.
slap.